What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the marathon. It is Monday, July 13th, 12th, July 12th. Today's gonna be kind of a weird day because this week, this Friday, or this Thursday, I am going out of town. I'm going down to Orlando with my wife, and we're going to be celebrating for the weekend. She's got something else going on, an event that she's hosting with a friend, and it's kind of like a new business venture that she's doing with some of her TikTok people. I'm going down as well, but this week is the last few days of my 30s, and we're going to go down, and I'm obviously going to be celebrating my 40th birthday. I'm going to end 39 with a bit, not really with a bang. You know, I don't drink, I don't really do a whole lot party and stuff, but I'm going to have a little bit of fun this weekend. But this week, as of right now, we are 84 days away from the marathon. And let's just say I'm changing training up a little bit this week. I'm still kind of experimenting with things that I'm doing. Supplements obviously is going to be an ongoing thing. I'll talk about what I'm going to be going down to Orlando with, what I'm doing differently. This week, I am taking the week off of strength training on top of it all because next Monday, I start a new strength training program. It's a new workout that Beachbody's releasing, so I'm definitely going to be getting into that. Looks pretty awesome, looks pretty hype. I tried the workout like 3 different times, the sample workout like 3 different times, really digging it. But that's pretty much that. Today, though, I want to talk about what I'm doing differently going forward with my training because I am making some tweaks. The last couple long runs I've done on Saturday have kind of been definitely experimental, if you even want to use that word. So I'm learning, I'm talking to strength coaches, I'm watching videos from running coaches on how to train, especially in this Florida heat, because it's been like 85 to 95% humidity since I started. And I'm just kind of getting ideas and just tweaking training as we go. We have 12 weeks left until the race, and I have to get ready, and I'm not even close to being ready. So today, I'm going to go over a lot of things, the 4 big things that I'm doing. I think there's 4. If there's not 4, it'll be 3, but there's at least 3, maybe 4 big things that I'm doing to change my training over the next few weeks to help try and prepare myself for this marathon. I do still have that goal of 3:30. I think it's probably going to be closer to 4, but still shooting for that 3:30 marathon. Who knows? A lot can happen. I know weather is different between here and Nashville. It is a lot less humid in Nashville, and then in October, it's going to be a lot cooler, which plays to my advantage. So we'll see what happens with that, and we'll see what happens moving forward. But let me get some work done because I am working 10-hour days today, tomorrow, and Wednesday just to try to minimize the amount of time off I have to take going into the weekend because PTO is kind of sacred around in this household. But yeah, so let me get to work. Let me do some things at work, and I'll talk throughout the day. And then later tonight, I'm going to go on my run. I have a 6.5 mile run, I think, to do tonight. So probably after I get off work, I'll get ready to do that. Hopefully I have the energy to do so. So fielding is going to be a huge part of today. And then once I get that 6.5 mile run, I will wrap up the video and we'll go from there. But today I'm going to talk about the things I'm changing when it comes to training for this marathon. Okay, so one of the things I'm changing is my nutrition. Okay, obviously nutrition is always going to be a tweaking. It's a never change. It's an always changing thing. Okay, I'm always going to be tweaking nutrition to try to get better results, to try to feel better, to try to fuel better, and so on. So daily nutrition, I'm going to end up dropping it back down to about 2,100 calories, just because I've kind of hit a maintenance mode around 2,400 calories. I don't like it, but the biggest nutrition change that I'm making is my pre-long run nutrition. Normally, oatmeal is my go-to, right? Half a cup of oatmeal, 150 calories, 27 grams of carbs. But of course I watch Nick Bear on YouTube, and Nick Bear is always eating either bagels or English muffins or something else before a run. Doesn't eat oatmeal a whole lot before a run, and I kind of sat down and I wondered why. So last trip I went to the grocery store, I found Dave's Killer Bread, some bagels, right? And I looked at the nutritional stats. One bagel, 260 calories, 48 grams of carbs. So one bagel, a lot quicker, a lot easier to make than oatmeal, right? It doesn't take as long. Has 110 more calories and almost 27 or 21 additional grams of carbs in it in just a bagel. So instead of having oatmeal with peanut butter, I can now have a bagel with peanut butter, and if I need anything additional on top of that, I can go for it. So pre-run nutrition, as far as my long runs, anything I'm over about 90 minutes or 60 to 90 minutes or whatever is where I'm going to start eating, making sure that I'm fed before I run. This is out. This is in. So since I'm not running yet, it's a normal breakfast day. I'm going to bring back the oatmeal. But yeah, pre-run, Dave's Killer Bagels for the win. All right, so I know I put my hoodie back on, but it's fucking cold in here. Anyway, next thing I'm changing as far as my training plan goes, and this is kind of like the part of the experimental phase of every time that I do this in running, because again, everything changes every year, is I change my gel from the goo to the base gels. Now, why did I do that? Well, the goo gels, if you've ever had a gel by goo, it is very, I want to say cake battery, and the texture, it's very thick, it's very sugary, and it's one of those where you need chaser fluid and stuff like that. And that, like, it didn't do bad 2 weeks ago when I tried it. It did well, but having 7 of those or 6 of those in one day is probably going to give my stomach a lot of issues, just like it did, back in Gulf Coast when I did the half Ironman. So I was looking up, and again, I am part of the base racing team, so I get the different things. I'm using my hydration. I got the gels now. So I looked at the gels and I compared them with the goo, and I said, all right, what's the difference between goo goo and the base gels? And it was actually a surprising difference. The goo, if I recall, had about 100 calories per. This has about 120 calories. Carbs was about the same. It was about 20-something grams of carbs. This has 28. I don't have a goo with me to know exactly what it has, but this is 28 grams of carbs, 120 calories. Again, one packet is one serving size. Another difference is this is a little bit more water-based, or it's at least watery, so that you can even feel when you're mushing around in the package here that you don't need a lot. It's very light, it's like a thicker water, right? So when I was taking this on the weekend during the run, I didn't feel like I needed to chase it down with some water to kind of flush it out. It's not as concentrated as, that's the word I was looking for. So I had 2 of these on the run. I felt fine doing it. So I have 2 more that I'm going to use, but this, I have to order more, and again, I wasn't sure how I was going to like them, so I still have 2 more that I'm going to use. I don't know when, but because I'm going to Orlando this weekend, I don't have time to run or to order more of the base gels. I got 3 of the Gatorade chews like I used in the half marathon. Now the Gatorade chews, 100 calories a piece. Let's see, carbs is 24 grams of carbs a piece. So again, not too bad. 5 gels per pack, 5 chews per pack. I'm gonna use these Saturday. Again, I have like a 12 to 13. I'm supposed to run 12. We'll see how far I get, and that's another thing that I have to worry about. That I'm changing this week. So we'll see what happens this weekend when I run with the gels, okay? So in race nutrition, during the run, I'm also taking the hydration. I'm kind of on the fence about my hydration. I'm still not quite sure if I want to go with the hydro, how much of the hydro I need. I did take 12 ounces before I ran, so my electrolytes were up. That was an extra 80 grams of 80 calories, and then another 21 grams of carbs. So that plus the 48 grams from the bagel, that was like 60, like almost 70 grams of carbs pre-run. felt really good. Now, how am I going to incorporate the hydration during the run? I don't know. That's what I still have to figure out. It's going to come down to, do I want to carry a water bottle with me on the race, or do I just want to use the Gatorade on race nutrition? That's the biggest thing for me. Like, maybe I bring water in my hand on the bottle and then use, I don't know. But I'm thinking about it like this, right? If I take one of these every 30 minutes, okay, that's 240 calories per hour, 58 grams of carbs per hour just from the gels, and whatever Gatorade I ingest. You're talking almost probably about 70 to 80 grams of carbs per hour. The body can only take 60 to 90 per, depending on who you are and what you're doing. So it puts me in the right range as far as my nutrition requirements. 120 calories, so 240 calories per hour, plus Gatorade probably about another 50 to 100 calories max. So you're talking 320 calories per hour for 4 hours, like 1,200 calories roughly. I mean, is it doable? Yeah. Is it gonna work? I don't know. But that's gonna bring us to the next change that we're making. All right, so it is now 4:30 in the afternoon. Getting ready to go out and hit the road about 6 miles before this rainstorm rolls in. This is what the weather looks like right now. I just looked at the radar, because all of a sudden it started getting windy and dark. But while I'm getting ready, the third thing I'm doing that I'm changing up with my training plan is I'm changing my strength training. So one of the things I don't like about designing my own workouts is you gotta test them. You gotta make sure they work. So I wrote this workout for my wife because she wanted something to get back in the gym. So I was like, I'll test it for you, babe. So I tested it for 9 weeks. And I'm glad I tested it before giving it to her, because even with that and running as much as I have so far, I've run almost 80 miles in the last four weeks, plus all the stuff I was doing beforehand with the doubles, I didn't lose hardly any kind of weight, which really would have pissed me off had my wife tried it and not lost any weight. She'd have been pissed. So we're starting a new program on Monday by a new trainer, and that's going to be 6 days a week, 13 weeks. Each workout is 45 minutes a day. It's going to be a lot lighter weight. Like, I'm not going to go heavy hardly at all. Like, I haven't looked at the program yet, but I can already tell you that I'm probably not going to go higher than like 35 or 40 pound dumbbells. It's a lot of functional strength training, mobility, stretching, athletic type activities or movements or exercises, which is going to be right up the alley for what I want. So I'm going to be doing that starting the 19th. That's going to roll. I think that ends up going 2 weeks beyond the marathon, which is fine. I'll finish up after the race is over. But I'm going to be doing that instead of the heavy lifting, the push-pull legs that I was doing. I'm still going to keep my running. I'm not really going to stop that. Obviously, I can't stop that. I have a race to go in 12 weeks. So that's change number 3. Now, because this is what I have to beat this. To beat that lovely storm before I get home. And I've got an hour to do it, so I've got to do 6 miles. We're gonna go knock out these 6. I'm gonna go ahead and I've already stretched. That was my last little bit of time at work. I was sitting at the desk and I did the Theragun on my legs. I'm gonna do that every night this week. Did a little warm-ups a little bit, not too much, but enough warm-up. So I'm gonna go take a shot of pre-workout because it's afternoon, get my earbuds and my phone, and I'm gonna hit the road for 6. I'm gonna do this quick because it's just disgusting looking. So let me go ahead and do that.
A few moments later.
All right, change of plans. I made it a quarter mile from the house and it started raining. Now, normally I would be all about going and just keep going, but it started too quick. Like, I thought I had another hour until this started. So I'm just gonna grab my keys, head to the gym, and start over. So I'm just gonna hit the treadmill, unfortunately, today for 6 miles, but at least it'll be dry. It's feeling good too, man. I was running half mile in 4:31, so I was running like 9-minute mile pace for the first mile, which is usually a good thing for me. So, all right, well, off to the treadmill it is. And then we'll wrap this up with the fourth thing that I'm changing. This is the biggest change that I'm making to this training plan. Look at this, like I don't know if you can see that rain. I can't run in that, not now. So, all right, I'm gonna head to the gym. I'll be back in a little bit. All right, so we're back from the gym. I did about 4 miles on the treadmill after a half a mile in the rain, which I totally would have finished the mile in the rain, but it just started. I was like, it's gonna get real heavy, and I'm glad I did turn around because it did get pretty intense for a little while. 4 miles wasn't the goal. 4.5 miles wasn't the goal. I wanted 6.5, somewhere in there, but I can get that Wednesday or Thursday like I'm planning. Anyway, dinner, we got some 8 ounces of turkey meat and then about 9 ounces of jambalaya with some andouille sausage. So the fourth thing that I'm changing going forward with this marathon training, I'm getting rid of statistics. Okay, I'm still gonna track all my runs, I'm still gonna do all this, the stuff, and I'm still gonna look at my progress and so on and so forth. But I am not gonna stress my pace, I'm not gonna stress my heart rate, I'm not gonna stress the mileage. I'm just gonna go out and run and enjoy the next 12 weeks of training as best as I can. And here's the reasons why. A, I live in Florida. The heat and humidity are gonna kill you when it comes to, running. Okay, the humidity and the heat are going to increase your heart rate, which means your heart rate zones are going to be completely off, and you're not going to be able to train based on heart rate. The heat and humidity are going to slow down your pace because you're not going to be able to run as fast for as long. So right there, the two metrics that I was trying to use to do all this training, hands down out the window, garbage. So then it's just going to be, how am I going to train? Well, I'm going to use perceived level of effort. Because if I can perceive myself to be running at a comfortable pace, then that's the pace I'm going to run. Obviously, as the weather cools down, when I get to race day and it's in cooler temperatures with lower humidity and so on and so forth, that perceived effort is going to be faster. It's going to be quicker. At least in theory it will be. According to every running coach I've talked to over the last couple weeks, it will be. So from now until the end of this running, I'm not gonna stress over my pace, or my heart rate was too high, or my pace wasn't fast enough, or I didn't get the mileage that I wanted to. As long as I'm getting mileage in and I'm putting in those miles under my legs and my legs feel good doing it and I feel good doing it, that's what ultimately is gonna matter. So forget all statistics. I'm gonna keep tracking, gonna keep using progress, but I am not going to stress over that shit anymore. It's been bothering me for the last couple weeks. I haven't hit any of my last 3 distance goals. I have not hit the distance, and it's been really pissing me off to the point where I'm like, this sucks. I did some research, and that's what I came up with. I'm gonna avoid following and stressing over, did I hit my 12-mile run? Did I hit my 10-mile run? Was my pace too fast, or was it too slow, or was my heart rate too high during this run, which means I gotta run slower. I'm just gonna run based on perceived level of effort. I'm gonna run based on how I feel, and I'm just gonna call it a day at the end of it. So that's what I've got. I'm gonna go ahead and finish my dinner. I'm gonna end this video here. So if you like it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell, notifications, all of that helps the channel grow. Obviously, I definitely want us to grow. So with that, I'll see you in the next episode.